guys. First time to try this RAO'S.
Welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. I'm so glad to see you here today, and I hope you are doing well. All right, in today's video, I have some fun things, hopefully that will give you some ideas and inspiration. This time of year, I know what's on all of our mind, and that is Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I'm sure you've planned out your menu and maybe picking up the last minute things for it this week. So I know that's what we're thinking of, but I've got a few things to show you here that we've had in the past little while, and I hope you enjoy seeing that. Maybe get some ideas, maybe a couple things that you might would want to make Monday or Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving, or maybe next week when you're all turkeyed out. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's get on into it.
All right, we're going to get started here with the first meal. I am making buffalo chicken sliders. This is family night. And since next week is Thanksgiving, I wanted to do something maybe a little bit lighter, something a little different since we're about ready to go into that Thanksgiving season. And some people have multiple family dinners. So buffalo chicken sliders is what I decided on. So here in my greased baking dish, I have 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. They're pretty large. And I'm going with this little packet of seasoning that came with some chicken wings, which I'm also going to show you at the end of the video. But it had quite a bit of seasoning and we didn't use it all. And it was a garlic parmesan. I added some pepper on top and of course just baked those off in the oven. Look at that yummy broth that baked off these chicken breasts. Next up, I just put these into my KitchenAid and let it do the mixing for me. That's a handy little trick when you want to shred up chicken. All right, I'm going to go in with some dry ranch seasoning. I'm going to use this Sweet Baby Ray's buffalo wing sauce. And then this little packet that I showed you in the beginning, it's a garlic butter, like a dry rub seasoning for those wings. I'm going to use the rest of that. I'm going to squeeze in some buttermilk ranch, a sprinkling of this Spanish paprika, a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder, and all those are going to season up this chicken so well. I'm going to put it on these Hawaiian little slider rolls, and that's what I'm going to show you here. Now, the clip that showed me mixing in all of those ingredients that I just showed you is nowhere to be found, so let's just all use our imaginations on that. Now, if you look up a buffalo slider recipe, there's all kinds of them, of course. Everyone has their own little preferences that they have, but the one that I'm following here turned out really, really delicious, and I think I've probably used this one before because I've made these before. I just don't know that I've ever showed them on the channel. I had 2 blocks of cheese. One was a Monterey Jack and one was mozzarella. I got those all shredded up, topped with the cheese there, put the little bun tops back on, and then I've got a stick of melted butter, some garlic powder, and some parsley rather. Going to get that all on the top, and then these just need to bake for a little bit, enough to get everything warmed through and get that cheese melted. And of course, as always, the recipe that I use will be in the description box. To serve alongside, I have this chopped salad kit. It's the Mexican street corn. First time to try this. We really enjoyed it. It comes with everything you need. All right, let me show you the dessert I'm making. I'm starting off with 4 apples, 2 cans of crescent rolls. You want to just take each triangle. Once you get your apples peeled and sliced, you're going to put 1 to 2 per crescent roll, and you're going to wrap it all up nice and neat like a little bundle. Get everything all sort of covered, the apples all covered. Put those in a sprayed baking dish. You're going to top it with some deliciousness. These make the easiest little apple dumplings. They are so, so delicious. I have showed these on here before, but it's been a very long time. I haven't made these in several years, and I'm sure most of you do make them. But if you by chance do not, you definitely want to give this recipe a try. It's got an interesting ingredient. I'm about to show you that coming up. But we're going to top it with butter, cinnamon, vanilla, and sugar. Get that all mixed and pour it on top. Like I said, these are really very quick and very easy. And here comes that interesting ingredient. I don't know the science behind it, but it works. Just give it a try if you haven't. All right, we're gonna crack this open. That's right, it's a Mountain Dew. Of course, the regular is what the recipe calls for, but I don't have the regular, and since there's enough sugar in this recipe, I don't think it will, well, I know it doesn't matter because I obviously made this and they turned out great. So if you have a diet, it'll work fine. Generally, it's the sugar in this, in anything, like if you do a Dr. Pepper over ham or a roast. But like I said, this has a lot of sugar in it already. Look at these fresh out of the oven, bubbling hot. Serve these with some vanilla ice cream. These are a hit every time. All right, let me show you the whole little dinner buffet here. Here's what the sandwiches turned out looking like. There is the salad. And we had some summer sausage and crackers. I had these were sausage jalapeno cheddar kolaches. I had a bag of those from Aldi, just put those in the oven. And then we just had some little things to go alongside, along with some chips and dip. Here's what my plate looked like. This was a really yummy meal. If you haven't tried these buffalo chicken sliders, give them a try. All right, you guys, first time to try this RAO'S jarred sauce. I have the RAO'S marinara, and I've said on my grocery haul that, you know, it's pretty pricey for just a jar of marinara or sauce. Kroger had it on sale, I believe, for $4.99 or $5.99 a jar. I was like, well, I'm going to give it a try just to see. Of course, it's been around for a few years now, but there's still people that say, you know, once you try it, you'll have nothing else. So we're going to see. What I did, though, is open it, and I went ahead and just tried a little bit of it straight out of the jar. My first thought is, I don't know, it felt a little salty maybe. So I'm definitely not going to add any salt to my ground beef. So here's my beef, fried up and drained. I had just, I don't know, maybe 1/4 cup of tomato diced from taco night the other night. So I put that in there, and I put about a tablespoon of minced garlic, which is what I always add extra garlic to my ground beef when I am making meat sauce. So, all right, here it goes. It's definitely nice and thick and chunky. I like that. And I'm going to rinse out the jar like I always do. And I never put too much water in my jar. I just put enough to kind of rinse it out. So that was maybe not even 1/4 cup possibly. All right, so, and then let's see what this is in there. I don't know. I'm going to take that out. I'm not quite sure what it is. The ingredients say Italian whole peeled tomatoes, olive oil, onion, salt, garlic, basil, black pepper, and oregano. So I'd say this is basil. I'll just leave it. I didn't think there was anything in there, so kind of threw me off there because it just said marinara. Okay, and then I always add just a little bit of sugar, maybe like 1/2 teaspoon or so in my sauce. So I'm going to do that as well. Basically doing everything that I always do when I'm using jarred sauce. I'm not super brand sensitive to sauce. I'd say I usually buy probably Bertolli. Let's see, there's one other one that I buy pretty often, but I can't think of the name of it. Let me go look in my pantry. I rarely buy Ragu. Sometimes I buy Prego. Oh, Classico. I think I buy Classico more than any other one. They have a vodka sauce, and James likes that one. Okay, I'm going to let this simmer. I'm going to turn it down to low and let this simmer. All right, I let the sauce simmer for a good little bit. Look how nice and thick it looks. I'm just going to pour it on over top of this angel hair pasta, get everything all mixed in. I would just say my honest opinion of this is it's good, but it's definitely not one that I feel like is the of all end all on pasta sauces. Not at all. I wouldn't say it's any better, and James said the same thing. We wouldn't say it's any better than any of the other jarred sauces that we use. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Here's our plate all done. We have a Caesar salad and some Texas toast. All right, next up, I have an egg in the bowl, and then I use my new little handy dandy chopper. It works so well in getting things chopped really, really finely. So this is an onion. Just gets it so nice and little, which I love for some recipes. So I got that in the bowl. I'm going to go in with a little bit of this Fresco spice in the signature blend. Quite a bit, because this is going to be my main seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. What I am making is stuffed peppers. Now I know I did just make these recently here on the channel, but they were so good we wanted them again. I'm adding a little Parmesan cheese. I am not following a recipe this time around. I am just making this according to what I think sounds good. Here comes the ketchup. Now basically when you are stuffing a pepper for stuffed peppers, it can be very customized to what you like, very similar to a meatloaf mixture using ground beef. So like I said, just put in there tonight what I thought sounded good tonight, what I was in the mood for. That's the beauty of cooking in your own kitchen. You can season things up according to the mood that you're in or how you're feeling in the moment, and that's what also keeps recipes and your dinners interesting. They don't have to be the same every single time, although you may want them to be the same, just depending on how much you like it or what you're in the mood for. So once this is all mixed up, I am using the peppers that I bought specifically to stuff. This time I bought the colored peppers, so I decided I'm going to do all of them. The last time I only did, I think, 2, and we wish we had some leftovers. So I'm using 3 this time. I have them all cut and cleaned out, and I'm going to go in and get these all stuffed with, that was 1 pound of ground beef. So this 1 pound mixture. Now, a couple of these peppers, the red ones especially, were very small. So I had quite a good amount of ground beef in these little peppers. And for the last 10 or so minutes of bake time, I wanted some extra ketchup on the top, and a couple of them I wanted to top with shredded cheese. All right, here's my plate looking all orangey and yellow. I had one of the orange peppers and one of the ones with cheese. It was absolutely delicious. I made some homemade mashed potatoes and some shells and cheese, creamy, delicious. It was a really, really yummy meal. All right, for this meal here, we are using some leftovers. We had pizza the night before and breadsticks, so had a couple slices left for each of us. And then I tried these Better Goods chicken wings, the garlic butter dry rub. That's what I talked about earlier, using that dry rub that was left. If you haven't tried these chicken wings and you like them, you have to pick some up. They're from Walmart. I promise you, you won't regret it. They were absolutely delicious. I followed the air fryer cooking instructions for these. They were really, really good. All right, this is the last thing I'm going to show you today. This is called Great Pumpkin Dessert. I'm pretty sure I've showed it before, but this is hands down one of our favorite recipes, desserts that includes pumpkin. So you need a can of pumpkin, some evaporated milk, pumpkin pie spice, you need some butter, you need a cake mix, some sugar, and some eggs. And you need some pecans. It is such an easy recipe, and I love the title of it, The Great Pumpkin Dessert, because I'm a big fan of Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. We watch that every year and have our little pumpkin party. So I made this early on in the season, and now that I'm showing it to you guys, I realize that I don't have a clip of the final look, but I wanted to show you this because in case you are needing a pumpkin recipe for Thanksgiving Day and you're a little undecided what to make, this is the one for you. All right, my whole can of pumpkin is in, and now the whole can of evaporated milk. I'm going to go in with the sugar. We're going to get this all mixed up, and then you're going to put this in a 9x13 baking dish that is sprayed with cooking spray. Once you get this mixture in the baking dish, you're just going to top it with that dry cake mix, and that forms kind of a crunchy topping once it comes out of the oven. Of course, butter goes on top of that, and then your pecans. This is a really, really good fall, well, any time of year, but you like those fall recipes that include pumpkin. What's great about this one too, it's just kind of, an easy dish that comes together quickly, but just comes out really impressive, and it's so good served with some vanilla ice cream. I wish I had an end shot to show you here, but just trust me on this. This one is a really good one. You bake it at an 350-degree oven for about an hour until that pumpkin sets up. It is a really good recipe.
Well, thank you again for taking some time to stop by my channel. Always appreciate when you are here with me in my kitchen. If you would like to be and maybe aren't subscribed, just hit the red subscribe button. It's free to you. If you hit the notification bell, that'll tell you when I'm here and have a new video, so you can come on over and join. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. I sure appreciate you. And in this season of Thanksgiving, I want you to know that I'm very, very thankful for each one of you. Hope you have a wonderful week and a blessed Thanksgiving. I'll see you next time, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Bye, everybody.